Hello, welcome everyone. First and foremost, just like to thank you guys for being here. Thank you for allowing us here at Mount City Church to be able to walk with you through your spiritual journey. For today's devotional, we're going to be going through chapters 115 to 118 here in Psalms. Very quickly, I'm just going to give you a brief intro of each chapter as we truly are going to go through chapter 115 and kind of zone in on that. But first and foremost, again, let me give you a little bit of details about the rest of the chapters. And 116 is a gratitude for God's mercy and rescue from death, with the commitment to worship, thanksgiving, and public acknowledgement of God's goodness. Chapter 17 is very similar, and despite its shortness, it's very powerful. A global invitation to worship God for His enduring love and truth. It highlights that God's goodness is not just for Israel, but all humanity. And 118 is showing gratitude for God's faithful love, deliverance, and victory. It emphasizes trusting in God over people, celebrates His unexpected and marvelous works, and calls for joyful public worship. So 115 is the chapter that we're actually going to dive more into. Not too much, but just to give you a little bit more insight on it. It's two parts to this chapter. The first part is the glory to God over powerless idols. So 1 through 8 in Psalms 115, the psalmist expressed his desire for God to glorify His own name. The writer didn't want glory for himself or for his nations. He wanted God to be glorified. So in verse 1, he wrote, "Not to us, O Lord, not to us, but to your name give glory." Some of the foreign nations at this time mocked God, the God of Israel and Judah, where they were saying at different times, "Where is their God?" At this time, they had idols that they worshiped in different parts of the city. Some of them were in their homes, different temples, statues. And as you've heard probably before, statues that they worshiped, obviously with mouths that do not speak, hands that do not feel, and ears that do not hear. The psalmist God was different from many foreign gods because the people of Israel and Judah didn't make images of idols of their God's likeness. The other nations, like I said, have physical representations of these gods in their cities. The God of Israel was in heaven, not stuck on earth or fixed to a particular location, I should say. He had and is pleased everyone throughout the universe. It wasn't just for that certain section of people. In contrast, the idols of the foreigners weren't even alive. They were statues. The people who worshiped these idols became just like those statues, senseless, useless, and worthless. The second part of this, chapter 115, is verses 9 through 18. The author of Psalm 115 didn't want Israel to fall for the taunt of the foreigners. He encouraged them to put their trust in the true God of heaven. God helped those who trusted in Him, unlike the useless idols did. So to put that in some perspective, the applications from this chapter is that there is still very real temptation to worship what is visible and mock what is invisible. It's easy to worship visible things, material things, nature, other people, because they are right in front of our faces. We see this a lot with celebrities, see this a lot with politicians, money, unfortunately. A simple person can find something to worship on earth, but a wise person will see that the created things point to something greater. This greater being, this creator, is not visible to us, but he should be the object of our worship rather than the things he's made. One thing I did learn throughout this was that this is exactly what Satan wants you to do. Satan wants you to take your eyes off of the glory of God, and he wants you to worship these things that truly don't matter. So some questions I would like to close with, and I would like to give you, church. 3 questions is, when success comes, do we say, "Not to us, Lord"? 2, in times of challenge, do we trust that God is still loving and faithful? And 3, are there idols in our lives, things that we rely on more than God? Thank you, church. Thank you guys for tuning in with us. Ask that you guys, if you are not following along with us, please follow along with us. If you have fell behind, please don't worry about catching up. Just jump right into it. Thank you, guys.